You think you know your life, your marriage, your best friend, your home. You think your kids are safe and your heart has a solid foundation. Until it all crumbles. This is the story of betrayal that sat right across my kitchen table. A story of love, deceit, shattered trust, and the strength I found when I thought I had none left. This is the story of how I discovered that my husband of 19 years, the father of my children, was having an affair with my best friend. Yes, my best friend. The one who lives just one street over. The one whose kids call me Auntie. The one whose house I can see every single day out of my window. Let me take you back. We were the perfect picture. 4 kids between us. My 2 girls, 12 and 15, and her 2, 7 and 12. Our daughters were practically inseparable. Best friends since kindergarten. They'd ride bikes around the cul-de-sac, sleep over at each other's houses, swap secrets and glittery nail polish. She and I, well, we had that mom bond. You know the kind. The one built over years of late-night texts about school projects, tears over parenthood, wine nights, and venting about husbands. Except, she did most of the venting. Her marriage was always in some form of disaster. Her husband, who, ironically, was also one of my husband's closest friends, was tired, checked out, and always too busy. Or so she said. And my husband, he was always there for her. Helpful, charming, a little too available, maybe. Sometimes I'd catch a look, a weird tension in the air when they spoke. The kind you feel in your bones, but gaslight yourself out of acknowledging. Once, I told her, hey, sometimes it seems like you're really into him. She laughed, looked me in the eye and said, don't always assume people have malicious intent. I let it go, because that's what you do when it's your best friend. Now I look back, and I see the signs. So many of them. The conversations that went a little too long. The way he lit up when she texted. The little things that didn't add up. The sudden errands, the excuses, the strange tension after double dates. But love makes you blind. And trust makes you silent. He gaslit me for years. I'd ask if something was wrong, and he'd tell me I was paranoid. I asked if he still loved me, and he'd hold me, while looking right through me. I remember crying into his chest, feeling the shell of the man I once knew. And still, I stayed. We had 19 years. We had a family. I wasn't just fighting for a marriage. I was fighting for the only life I had ever known. 25 years together. That's not just a relationship. That's history. That's identity. That's everything. Or so I thought. The day didn't come in an explosive confrontation. It came in a text. A simple, cold, world-shattering message. From her husband. She's on her way home from work. You need to know something. That was it. No warning. No buffer. Just a text that turned my world inside out. Turns out, he'd found the messages. He saw the truth. My husband and her, together. Emotionally, physically, intimately. Behind our backs. For years. I remember reading that text, my hands shaking, my heart hammering like it was trying to break out of my chest. The truth was out. And the worst part, my daughter already knew. Yes, my daughter, my beautiful, strong, observant daughter had seen him texting while he was driving. She knew, and she'd been crying, alone, in silence. She had been protecting me. After the truth came out, everything went blurry. Like a movie you're watching underwater. I cried, I screamed, I shattered, and he said it was over. He said he didn't love her. He said it was never serious. Except, I was there in September when she said, to his face, at a party, I love you. And I bawled, right there, in front of her, in front of him, in front of our friends. He said the feeling wasn't mutual. But the lies had already sunk the claws in too deep. He's trying now, trying to be accountable, trying to show up. He sees what he's done. But that doesn't stitch my heart back together. And she's telling people he pushed her into it. That she's Tried to stop. She says she's the victim. She lives one street over. She walks her kids past my house. And I look at those girls, the ones I loved, cared for, drove to school, and I realize I won't get to see them grow up. I won't get to braid their hair or hear them giggle on my couch. I lost more than a friend. I lost a family. You always hope your kids will be shielded from your pain. But my daughters, they saw it all. The coldness, the silence, the phone glances, the nights he worked late. They knew, maybe not the details, but kids are intuitive. And when I finally broke the news to them, I expected confusion, denial, pain. Instead, they looked at me with such strength, such clarity. Mom, my 15-year-old said, you don't have to stay. That's not how someone who loves you acts. It was like they'd been waiting for me to wake up. I asked them, would it hurt you if I left your dad? They said, no, we want you happy. We love you. They gave me permission. And that was everything. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The days after D-Day were some of the darkest I've ever lived. I cried in the shower. I screamed into pillows. I replayed every memory, every vacation, every sweet gesture. Was any of it real? I grieved the marriage, the friend, the life I thought I had. But I also started therapy. And therapy cracked me open in the best way. I started remembering me, not the wife, not the mother, me, the woman who used to sing at the top of her lungs in traffic. The one who danced in the kitchen while cooking dinner. The woman who used to dream, to laugh until her cheeks hurt. She wasn't gone, just buried. And with every therapy session, every tear shed, every story untangled, I started rebuilding. Meanwhile, she began spinning her own version of events. She told mutual friends it was all his fault, that he manipulated her, that she was vulnerable. She painted herself the victim. Meanwhile, I was picking up the broken pieces of my life. Her husband blocked me. Our once blended families went radio silent. The woman who I drove to work for 6 months after her seizure. The one whose kids I treated like my own. She didn't even have the decency to apologize. But I realized, I didn't need it. Her guilt wasn't mine to carry. I stopped asking why. I stopped wondering how she could. Because in the end, people show you who they are. And when they do, believe them. He's still their dad. He still sees them. And I let him. Because our daughters deserve love from both parents. That doesn't mean I forgive. That doesn't mean I forget. But I won't let his betrayal rob them of a father. We started family therapy. And slowly, with boundaries, we're finding a new rhythm. One built on honesty, even when it hurts. We don't speak unless it's about the kids. And that's okay. Because now, my peace is sacred. Every day, I still feel it. The ache, the sting. But I also feel power, strength, growth. There are still tears, but there's also laughter. There's new music in my kitchen, new dreams on my horizon, new pages in my story. And maybe one day, I'll find love again. But for now, I'm falling in love with myself. Thanks for listening. If this story touched you, if you're in the storm, know this. You are not alone, you are not broken, and you will rise. Please do me a small favor by liking, commenting, subscribing, and clicking the notification bell for more stories if you also enjoy this one. See you in the next one.